I've been dealing with this wig thing for a couple of years already. Rabbi Reuven for even more. He wrote it in his books and so on. I have siyata yishmaya of a lifetime. I think to myself, all this debate, who was the closest person to the Rebbe? Who is the closest person to any Ish Kodesh? Who? Of course, Rabbi isn't close, Chavuta is close, but aside from that, B'cheder Chadarim, inside the room, who? His wife. What did his wife do? His wife definitely didn't call him Mashiach, I can tell you that. But what did his wife do? I said, let's find out. So I went on some research. Baruch Hashem, I found you some confirmations. I found you some confirmations. You can't say it's my opinion. Why? The source is Chabad. The source of everything I have right now is Chabad. It's not me. I didn't go back 30 years in time to take these pictures. Chabad has several movies about the Rebbetzin. She was a Isha Kedosha. She was mamash in our generation. When she lived, she died in the late 80s. The Rebbetzin was Chaya Mushka Schneerson. Was mamash Isha Kedosha. Unfortunately, they didn't have any kids. But when there was a lawsuit and they were looking at the estate, they were looking into the estate of Chabad and so on and so forth, and they asked about the Rebbe, and they asked about her father, which was the Lubavitcher Rebbe before the Rabbi Schneerson. And they asked her, oh, what does he have? What does he have? He goes, no. The Rebbe belongs to the Hasidim. Everything he has is for the Hasidim. Everything. There's no person, our house, our car, our money, our bank. Everything is for the Hasidim. One little boy came to the Rebbetzin. He says, Rebbetzin, where are your kids? Little kid doesn't know, miskin, what having kids is. Miskin doesn't know. Innocent. Mamash, pure soul. What the Rebbetzin, instead of crying like all of us want to cry right now for such a thing, what did she say? She says, all the Hasidim are his kids. All the Hasidim are our kids. Say, Isha Kedosha. I want to know what Isha Kedosha in our generation did. If you're saying so many things about her husband, Allah Shalom, I want to see what she did. She go with her husband, she go again, what she do. If she's a Kedosha, I want to be like her. Abutai, you don't need to listen to my words anymore. You could just see pictures. Here's the first picture. This is a very famous picture of the Rebbetzin Schneerson. You see that there is a little bit of hair and a hat. There's a little bit of hair and a hat. Now this is obviously, for anyone, any woman would tell you this is obviously her real hair. We showed this to the Chabad rabbis. They said, no, it's a wig. It's a wig. I said, okay, let's check another one. Let's check another picture. We have another picture. What about this one? It's another hat. This is a wig too? From 80 years ago? It's a wig? Oh no, it's a wig. It's a wig. Hashem have mercy on you, he tells me. Hashem have mercy on you for thinking this is not a wig. Hashem have mercy on you. I said, okay, fine, no problem. No problem, this is a wig. This is her, by the way. I said, okay, no problem. Let's see, next picture. Here she is, over here. Same picture as the other one, just the original picture. Is this a wig? Oh no, it's a wig. Hashem have mercy on you. That says it's a wig. I said, okay, no problem, fine, no problem. We have wigs. We have a lot of wigs. We have a lot of different types of wigs. Then you have the movie. The movie called the Life and Times of the Rebbetzin. Life and Times of the Rebbetzin, a brief biography of Rebbetzin Chaya Mushka Schneerson. It shows several pictures of her. Some of that I showed you, some that aren't. This is one of them. This is one of them. And you see that this is her. You see that there's hair here in the back. And there's a hat. There's a hat. Okay? And, okay, let's say this is also, I made it up, I don't know, somehow, or whatever it is. Fine, no problem. Now, so you know, the halacha is that you are allowed to show, according to halacha, you are allowed to show up to 3 fingerfuls of hair. Up to 3 fingerfuls of hair you're allowed to show, front or back or so on. Chabad claims, today's Chabad, not Lubavitcher Rebbe, today's people claim, no, we hold by the Zohar, who says you're not allowed to show even a single hair. Not leaving all the shul. That's why the wig is better, according to them. And to actually wear a mitpachat is a sin, according to these rabbis that I had a debate with. It's a sin. Shem elachem. If that's a sin, what's a mitzvah? Anyway, so they said that's why. So I said, okay, so what about the Rebbetzin? She's showing some hair. No, that's a wig. That's a wig. Okay, fine. It's a wig. So let's just go fast forward and we go to 1985, just a couple of years before she died. And we see what the Rebbetzin is wearing next to a man that's not her husband. This is actually a picture that was taken when they were questioning her to some type of financial issues, some type of lawsuit. And you see, you can't see in the back digitally, but over here she's actually wearing a kisui rosh. She's wearing some type of cover on her hair, and the front is showing. About 3 fingerfuls, or even a little bit more of 3 fingerfuls is showing, next to a strange man, obviously a cameraman. So obviously this is not a picture that somebody got behind the scenes and she didn't know, because if she knows that there's people out there, she's tzadikah, she has to cover her hair. Now, in case this was not convincing, let's go. There's another version of the picture. Now she looks, and you can see clearly that she has something covering her hair. And a little bit is not covered in the front, next to the same strange man. Whoever this tzaddik is, 1985, gives you the date and everything. And if that wasn't enough, I told them all, what about this? Like, no, it's a wig. I'm like, what a wig? An old woman is going to get white hair wig? They said, no, it's not. If it's not, that's only because she's home. So she doesn't have to cover her hair. I'm like, what do you mean she doesn't have to cover her hair? There's strange people next to her, not her husband. Did you just create a new law? He said, don't make fun of me. This is what he's responsible. Don't make fun of me. So then we have another picture of the Rebbetzin of her in a car. This is somebody took, she was in a car, and actually you can't see it here, but she's actually wearing the same exact kisui rosh as before, and the front is showing, but she's in a car. So you can't use that excuse of she was home and she didn't know and she doesn't have to. Meaning every single argument you have is going to the garbage. She wore kisui rosh. And last but not least is another one where she covered her hair. Here she doesn't have much showing at all. She covered her entire hair. Here's a black and white picture. So now you have Isha Kedosha that dedicated her life to Chabad, dedicated her life to her husband, dedicated her life to Hashem Yitbarach. What does she do? She put a mitpachat on. Now, if that wasn't enough, I figured Shtabach Shemo. I already have said Bishmaya, let's go all the way. Hashem, what did his mother do? Guy's not going to go against his mother. You know, his mother was tzadikah kedosha. What's the story about his mother? His father was a huge Talmid Chacham. One day, the communists wanted to kill them. Non-stop. But his father, I remember this story from years ago, his father used to write chidushim on the corners of the Gemara pages. Because they didn't have money for paper. Very, you know how expensive paper was back then? Like today, you buy 500 pieces of paper for $2. Back then, you have 500 pieces of paper, you're already rich. So the people used to write chidushim on the corners, between, you have the book, and then you have a little bit of white space on it. Little white space, that's where they write the chidushim, on the corners over here. So she took all of these chidushim, all of the books, instead of clothes, instead of food, instead of money, she took all of his chidushim, and she took it out of the country to save the books. She put her life on the line. No money, no clothes, no nothing. She just took his books. Why? The world must see his chidushim. This is how much she loved Torah. This is anashim k'toshim. It's not regular women. It's no different than in that generation. No different than Yochevet and Elisheva. It's no different. What did she do? Rebbetzin Schneerson, Chana Schneerson. Look at this. Nice hat. Look at this. Another hat. Some hair showing on the side. But you have the hat. More hair showing than the Rebbetzin, other one. But nonetheless, there's a hair covering, which we'll explain in a moment. Another one. These are all the pictures that are available. There are no more pictures. You want to go find one, send it to me. But I didn't find it. I did a lot of research, Baruch Hashem. Covering more. This is a first meeting she had with the Rebbe himself. She hasn't seen him in almost 20 years. Meeting with all the rabbis and the Rebbe. Rebbe here, as you can see, is very young. This is the Rebbetzin, his mother. The hat looks like a streimel. She covers everything. Huge. And again, another meeting over here, another black and white picture. This is the Rebbetzin here. This is the Rebbe. Shtabach Shem Al'ad. Again, a huge hat. And if you want to read, you should read the story, the life and times of the Rebbetzin, Chaya Mushka Schneerson. It's actually on Chabad's website. It's actually on Rebbe.org or something like that. Very, very good article. Also has many of the same pictures that I just showed you, and others. Not others, and what's it called? Just in the article. Now, what's the point? The point is, Rabotai, a few things. Number one, even if you want to say, which is a lie, even if you want to say they wore, both of them, both of these tzadikot kedoshot wore a wig. Let's say they did. They didn't, but let's say they did. What kind of wig did they wear? What did they wear? They wore exactly what the Gemara says. Exactly what Rashi says. They wore the wig under the hat. Okay, I wore the wig. White wig. Okay, fine. Never really existed. White. No problem. I wore the wig under the hat though. Not a wig by itself. Not a wig by itself. Covered my hair, obligated. No problem. But just like Rashi says, just like the Gemara says, just like the Mishnah says, no 3 feet long wig reached the floor, not even a short wig. Nothing. Why? It's not allowed. It's pashut not allowed. It's pashut not allowed. So even if it was a wig, you see it's covered by a hat. In reality, it wasn't a wig. But you want to believe it's a wig? Fine. Okay. If you're holding by the Lubavitcher Rebbe, you want to hold by him to wear a wig? No problem. At least hold by what he actually did. Don't hold by something you created out of your thin mind of what you say he did. Hold by what his wife did. Hold by what his mother did. No problem. But don't go out and pretend like you're covering your hair, like the Baba Sali says. He says these women, they're pretending like they could fool God. They're pretending like they can fool God by fulfilling the obligation of covering hair with hair. They're pretending to fulfill the obligation. You think you can fool Hashem? It's nonsense. It's nonsense, Rabotai.